Okay, welcome back, gentlemen. This is the fourth of four installments in the LAMBDA MAN training. Thus far, going back to our roadmap, we've identified the problem of with men today. We've talked about getting real with our past and understanding the concept of each person having wounds and those wounds holding us prisoner, driving us to erratic behavior, and us being men or manning up and stuffing down those wounds, not dealing with those wounds, and just continuing in erratic behavior. Then we discussed the definition of a man, the definition of manhood and its historical roots, and the Asian American influence on such. We discovered that the modern, contemporary, over-consumerized definition of a man is to buy more stuff, don't deal with your junk, don't deal with your wounds, and all that stuff and that consumerism and that bling, bling, bling will be the answers to all your problems, make you healthy, give you peace, medicate your wounds. And so we toil all day long trying to keep up with consumer man, when really what we should have been doing is we should have been LAMBDA man and be dealing with our junk and our past. Alright, so now this is the fourth of four installments. This is where we're going to discuss, according to the roadmap, the definition of LAMBDA, what it means to be a LAMBDA, and then finally the application, some practical tips on how to apply what we've learned today to become LAMBDA man or pursue authentic manhood and have a noble purpose for our life. Alright, here we go. Let's see. So we have taken a look at the definition of a man and whatnot. Now we turn to the question of what does it mean to be a LAMBDA? Okay. Well, to be a LAMBDA means to stand up and to be upstanding. We now see a greater and greater loss of communal thinking in our society. Our world desperately needs positive role models. Okay? We need these role models to stand up and take back control over the definition of manhood. That's what a LAMBDA man does. If you look at this definition on your screen, LAMBDAs are enlightened, introspective, Renaissance gentlemen who devote themselves to self-improvement for life, not for 8 weeks. So LAMBDA men stand up and they take back control over the definition of what it means to be an authentic man. We take control over that conversation. A LAMBDA man leads the way by standing up, starting and taking control over the manhood conversation around him. And he teaches all those around him what it really means to be a man. Honor, courage, compassion, being a blessing to others. Men are leading lonely, confused lives, and they're drifting from one boyish vice to the next. They're lying down. They're not standing up. Men are in need of a strong support network of other authentic, stand-up men, LAMBDA men. If we are to be leaders among men, then we must stand up and lead the way. All right. LAMBDAs, we train. We improve ourselves. LAMBDAs understand that the idea that consumerism will heal all our wounds makes us a man. We understand that that is inauthentic. Consumerism will not heal your wounds. Consumerism will not make you a man. That is inauthentic. Instead, LAMBDAs spend their lives searching for authentic vision of manhood, not one corporate America feeds us. Let me repeat that. Instead, LAMBDAs spend their lives searching for an authentic vision of their manhood, not one corporate America feeds us. We take control. We set the rules. We run this game. We don't let corporate America tell us what a man is. We are Lambda Phi Epsilon. We tell the world what a man is. And what a man is to be a person who is introspective and tries to find a noble purpose for his life and be a blessing to someone else. That is an authentic vision of manhood, not one corporate America feeds us. This authentic vision of manhood cannot be premised on suppression of our wounds, consumerism, beauty, or extended adolescence, but rather it must be premised upon each individual's noble purpose in life, which will sustain throughout all future phases of life, each phase replete with increasing responsibility and pressure. Okay, I cannot repeat how critical this concept of an authentic vision of manhood is. It is the key to what we are teaching here. Okay, you cannot continue to suppress your wounds, try to medicate those wounds with consumerism or other consumer goods or beauty or extended adolescence. Authentic vision is premised upon each individual finding his noble purpose in life. And that is going to sustain you, fill your soul, give you peace, make you happy. And isn't that what everyone just wants anyways? To be peaceful and happy? Of course it is. Having a purpose will help you look forward and free yourself from the prison of the past. If you get this concept, find your noble purpose, right? Be authentic about your manhood. Find your noble purpose. I assure you, you will be looking forward as to what tomorrow brings in the pursuit of your noble purpose. You will not be looking back anymore about the pain and the past and how so-and-so harmed you and so-and-so hurt you. Do you see, gentlemen? That's why your noble purpose in looking forward fills your soul. You become excited about tomorrow and endeavoring and working and toiling tomorrow to fulfill your noble purpose tomorrow and the day after. You don't look back anymore about the pains from your past. You're too busy getting on with the getting on. You're too busy looking forward, fulfilling your noble purpose. So we know and we learned today that an authentic vision for your manhood is not found in a media-driven consumer man or definition of your manhood. Rather, this is where it gets good, gentlemen, pay attention. Rather, your authentic vision of your manhood is found in your noble purpose. Your authentic vision for manhood is found in your noble purpose. There's a real you in there somewhere. I can't see you right now, but I'm pointing right at your heart. There is a real you in there. Not this consumerism you, not this front that you have. I know you. I seen you. I seen you before, I see you today, and I'm going to see more people like you. There's a real you in there. An authentic you. You got to get that authentic you out. Let it shine. Let it come out. And let it find its noble purpose and be the real person that it wants to be. Once we have found a purpose in life, our daily stresses become less significant, as they usually have little or nothing to do with our true purpose. Do you get that? Once we have found a purpose in life, our daily stresses become less significant, as they usually have little or nothing to do with our true purpose. And then you know what happens, gentlemen? Are you ready? Are you ready? Do you know what happens? Lambda boy becomes lambda man, because it takes a man to bring a boy to manhood. Lambda boy becomes lambda man, and lambda man shows up on the scene, saving a woman from a burning building, saving starving children in third world countries, saving a hurting bro right here next to him at his fraternity house who has pains from his past and needs to learn how to deal with his junk. That's what LAMBDA man does. That's what a real man does. That's LAMBDA man. That's LAMBDA man. That's LAMBDA man. We should be proud to present ourselves as men. We should not feel that to present ourselves as men, we have to have cups and girls in our hands. We should stand on the merits of our accomplishments. That's LAMBDA man doing service. Community cleanup on the left, bone marrow drive on the right. That's LAMBDA man. San Francisco Alumni Association, Habitat for Humanity, 2013. Next one coming up 1 month from when I'm doing this video, April 2014. Habitat for Humanity again. We can be taking care of our families truly and authentically. No mistresses on the side. So, gentlemen, that's LAMBDA man. If you have time and if you're in a group, in the LAMBDA man section of your handout, there are blanks. Make sure you fill those out. And if you can, discuss the 7 points in a small group. Okay? But notwithstanding that, we're going to move on to application now. Because we don't just need real LAMBDA men to sit down. We need real LAMBDA men to stand up. To stand up. So, Jason, how can we be the real LAMBDA man, but how can we be upstanding about it? How can we put what we've learned into action? All right. Well, you can, first of all, start the conversation. You can start the conversation. Half the battle here, half of what connects us, is that we care enough about one another to talk to each other, to discuss and acknowledge before one another that we are all damaged goods in some way, that we are all a work in progress, and that we are truly our brother's keeper. So can I just grab a cup of coffee with you and sit down? Can the president initiate a group activity where we do this? Can we do it regularly, like on Tuesday mornings? Can you call it LAMBDA Man Coffee? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And once you start doing that, that is where the value of your experience is. Not the hazing, not the push-ups, not the sit-ups. It's the fact that you cared enough about your bro, and your bro cared enough about you to get to know you, to get to know what makes you tick, what makes you happy, and what makes you sad, to support you, to love you, and to give you the opportunity to love back. And when you start doing that, you start living the life. You begin to be in the life. You start loving the life, and you start living the life. And then what ends up happening is once you get that, then you start teaching other people to live the life and to love the life. Because all people, men, women, young, old, black, white, brown, are damaged and are a work in progress. And they need to find a noble purpose for their life too, to get over their junk. What is the motto of Life Institute? This is how we live. We train, train, train. So let's talk about something called the rock and roll model. As men, we must be a rock for those around us. We must also be a role model for all who see, touch, and hear us. We can do this by changing the culture of the community surrounding us, our family, our fraternity, our neighbors, our workplaces, people we supervise. Many of you know that I have my own law firm, and I only hire lambdas or family of lambdas. And each and every day I try my best to teach them how to live the life and how to love the life, that their true happiness will be found in their noble purpose. And their noble purpose usually involves the gift of giving, because the gift of giving is the greatest gift of all. And that they cannot heal their wounds with consumerism, money, wealth, or fame, but they can only heal their wounds, truly heal their wounds, when they find their authentic vision of their manhood, which is going to be found in noble purpose. And when we do this, when we are this rock for those around us, and when we are this role model for all who see, touch, and hear us, we become LAMBDA men, authentic men, and we honor ourselves, we honor the house, letters, and name, we honor our ancestors. In Land Phi Epsilon, the credo, the pledge credo, is something that all pledges learn. This is an altered version of the pledge credo that I find particularly instructive, and it goes like this. Every act you perform or fail to perform represents your dedication and commitment, or lack thereof, to your family, your race, your gender, your fraternity, and yourself. Sometimes I like to talk about the concept of fortitude. Lambdas must be men of fortitude. If you think about things like fighting and fist fighting, many men, many lambdas, think that being a man is getting into a fist fight, maybe at a nightclub, maybe backing up your bro. But in actuality, I'm not looking for the man who's ready to fight. I'm looking for the man who's got the cojones and the fortitude to not fight. It's easy to fight. It's easy to haze. Anybody can do that. But only a grown man can see the other person for what they are. That they're probably a good person doing a bad thing because they're misguided. And they're just in pain just like any of us. And to try to heal another person is so much more of a manly gesture than to try to just, pledge him or fight with him. That doesn't impress anyone. Lambdas standing up means lambdas taking care of lambdas. Men like to hold things in. They don't like to talk about their problems. Lambdas can help in that regard. Lambdas can take care of lambdas by encouraging one another not to hold things in, to in fact talk about their problems, to vocalize them, and thereby process their wounds. Because once you start to process your wounds, then and only then can you find noble purpose. Many men have acquaintances, few men really have friends. We can truly be our brother's keeper and not just be an acquaintance, but really be a true friend or a brother and have a real connection with our brothers if we start talking about this stuff. Wounds, authentic manhood, being bound and chained by my wounds, finding a noble purpose for my life, and get on with it, get on. In Land Phi Epsilon, we understand two things. First, we understand that most men are isolated and wounded because they stuff down their wounds and never deal with it, so they're living in isolation. Second, we understand that we are to be dedicated and committed to our brothers, so we help each other. Putting these two principles together, we learn that lambdas never leave an isolated, wounded brother alone on the battlefield of life. We rescue our brothers by starting and continuing for life an ongoing discussion of authentic manhood. Gentlemen, if you recall, from pledging, brotherhood was never really attained in pledging. Brotherhood was only found in the moment of the journey. The journey itself was the brotherhood. And so, in Lambda Phi Epsilon, if we want true, authentic brotherhood, we have to all be in lifelong journey with one another. A journey to an authentic place, authentic manhood. You never leave a brother alone on the battlefield of life. You start and you continue for life, an ongoing discussion of how you and I, bro, are going to get to that mythical place called authentic manhood. Where what treasure will we find at authentic manhood? Our noble purpose in life. And we are on a journey together. That's brotherhood. So, ongoing conversations, you can attend Life Institute classes. That is the national encouraging you to have an ongoing discussion or conversation in your mind by going through ongoing training. You can have weekly breakfast meetings. You could do study groups. You can go to until Life Institute comes out with more materials, any of you can go to Barnes & Noble right now or Amazon.com, buy any men's study or gentlemen's books and study them together. Books of substance that are healthy for men. And you can change the corporate culture at your chapter. You can change corporate culture anywhere that you are at, to one where we discuss getting real, definition of manhood, womanhood, or adulthood, whatever the case may be, and being upstanding and finding our noble purpose. Everyone can get with that. Everyone can relate to that. Always remember, iron sharpens iron. And accordingly, lambdas heal lambdas. We take care of each other for life as men of steel. An ongoing discussion of authentic manhood creates a culture premised upon the common and collective pursuit of authentic manhood. Same thing that I just said. The value and the brotherhood and the connection is in the journey. And when you do this, when you create a culture like this, anybody who steps in the front door will be encouraged and excited to live up to the challenge and integrate into the culture of all of these gentlemen being their best selves on their best days every day, and holding each other accountable and supporting one another in that journey or on that journey. So I say to you, is this Lambda man? Is this Lambda man? Is that Lambda man? Is that Lambda man? How about this? Is this Lambda man? Lambda man. No, not Lambda man. What happens when we forget to be Lambda men? People die, gentlemen. 5+ and counting already. We grow up to be irresponsible. We lose our homes. Try looking at your wife like when you're a grown man, when you lose your house to foreclosure. Worst day of your life, I guarantee you. Authentic manhood means being our best selves on our best days, every day, together. Together we can build a new land. Together we can take care of the young. On the right hand side there is one member, one alumni, who takes the pledges in the 6th week of pledging to his country club for lunch to encourage them not to drop from the program. That's 1 year's lunch. Here's the prior year's lunch. That's a Delta chapter with some of its Delta alumni with some of its younger members at convention. Mentorship. We can be good fathers to our sons. We can be present with our families. We can be faithful to our wives. We can care for and honor our parents. You know, in the Chinese culture, you judge a man's wealth by how many people show up to his funeral. If a lot of people show up to your funeral, you're rich. If no one shows up to your funeral, you're poor. Will you take care of someone? Will you be your brother's keeper? Will you learn how to be authentic about your manhood, about your adulthood? Will you be upstanding and help somebody else to find their authentic adulthood and their noble purpose? And in doing so, who's going to eventually come to your funeral? Will you touch 1 million people? Will you touch maybe 10 people and this is who comes to your funeral, like in this picture, 10 people? Or will you touch 1 million people, like Neil Armstrong's funeral? Or will you be like that soldier who gave his life for his country? And people came from the 4 corners of the globe to honor him at his funeral, like a man. Gentlemen, I thank you for your time. This concludes Lambda Man training. You have the handout. The handout is meant for you to keep and think about and reflect and refer to at a later time to remind yourself about what we discussed here. Now that this teaching is virtual, you can always refer back to the video. But the problem is it's 2 hours long. Anyways, I encourage you to think about what we discussed here today, to find your noble purpose. That purpose is probably going to be in being a blessing to someone else and experiencing the gift of giving, which is the ultimate gift of all. And go out and find that. Be a blessing to someone else. And God bless you. Bye-bye.